David Arumainayagam is a British national of Indian origin with an early childhood in the Far East. Before being sent to England by his parents for a secondary schooling and university, he graduated with an honors degree in engineering and practiced for many years as a chartered engineer before embarking on an MBA and moved into general management, taking responsibility for running a major corporate in Zimbabwe. He subsequently formed his own company to undertake property development and management, a business which he still runs. He recently published, in collaboration with Eurobox, a literary work entitled Letters to a Friend. He's our guest today to have a little chat right around this book. So let's welcome him. Hi, David, and thank you for accepting this invitation.
Nice to meet you again, Geneva. It's wonderful to sort of be interviewed. This is my first sort of formal interview as such. So yeah, a little nervous, but anyway, excited.
No, thank you for being here, David. We'll just talk about the book. So first of all, I would ask you to introduce what is the book about. The title is very clear, isn't it?
I'd like to think so. I tried to sort of convey my story in a slightly different way. It is about my life, but I didn't want to sort of follow a chronological pattern. And I felt that the only way to do it was to literally write it on the basis of a subject. And in doing so, the idea came to me that it would be quite nice to sort of write a narrative as though one was writing to a very close friend. And it's very interesting because the friend I chose was a very close friend who I tell all my deepest, darkest secrets to. So it was quite nice to be able to sort of write it in that letter form. And I hope it's actually sort of enjoyable to read.
And when did the idea to write down this book first come to you? Why?
Yeah, interesting. Because I've always loved writing, even when I was a kid. I think I wrote a play at the age of 13, and then I wrote a book about this wonderful lady that I met and fell in love with. In fact, actually, funnily enough, I do mention her in my book this time too, but obviously nothing that was published and whatever. But it was literally, I think, when I was lying in my hospital bed after my cancer surgery. And as you can imagine, I had all kinds of, fearful thoughts about death and all of those sorts of things, because cancer is not necessarily a forgiving disease. So I just felt I needed to put something down on paper about my life. So I think it was primarily meant to be targeted towards my family and friends, a sort of form of legacy, just to be able to tell them my story. So that's how it all started. And so I at various times, I had done some voice memos about things I wanted to speak about. I'd written, or made some notes really of a few things. And then when we were locked down during COVID, there was nothing to do, So I thought, well, now's the time to write. And funnily enough, once I started to write, the words just flowed, because I found it a form of therapy as well. And I do say to people, actually, when they're going through hard times and whatever, I say, look, I found it very useful to just write. It doesn't matter, somebody will edit it, or you can edit it, or you don't even have to publish it. Just write, just get your story down on a piece of paper, and you actually feel better. And so that's how it all started.
And on the other side of the line, when we talk about the reader, what can the reader take from the book? What are the main themes, the main message that you want to transmit?
I think it's primarily a love story. Um, Obviously, I'm trying to understand and rationalize the whole emotion, but I think bottom line is that this, the one message that people should get out of it is that love is such a wonderful thing. It just seems to me, anyway, a sort of panacea for all ills. So that's the underlying message. It's about love primarily. The other message, and that's why I wrote it in a slightly humorous vein, is no matter how difficult things appear to be, no matter how bad things seem to be, laughter is just such an incredible medicine. It's such a wonderful tonic. If you can laugh about your life, then great, So even in that sort of introspection or whatever, it was very much a case of saying, laugh about it, no matter how bad it is. If it's great, even better, But yeah, I think those are the two underlying messages. But yes, that's primarily what it is. And I hope the readers pick up on it.
And it is a wonderful message indeed. Thank you, David, again for joining us today, and we want to wish you best luck with your book.
Thank you so much for having me. And given this time of year, I wish everybody a wonderful and Merry Christmas.
Letters to a Friend is a compilation of brief tales or snapshots of the author's life, loves, thoughts, and dreams captured in a series of letters to a friend. It is a tribute to them friendships, a philosophical review of life after divorce and cancer diagnosis, and a light-hearted examination of human relations and past events. Most importantly, it is an ode to love in every form of expression. Letters to a Friend, written by David Arumainayagam, is now available in bookstores and digital platforms. It's a publication by Eurobox.